जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे
बोलो भारत माता की जय जय जय।
Parents kindly move to the L hall on the second floor. You can make use of the lifts. Please be seated. A quote from our At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes which comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new. Battalion, PI staff, Director, Reverend Father Roshan David Pereira SJ, Principal Mr. C.R. Rajendra, Vice Principal Ms. Smita Chacko, Governor of the Student Council Ms. Maria Tendral, staff, students, parents, NCC unit, NSS unit of St. Joseph's Evening College, and our online audience. History was scripted on August 15, 1947. A new dawn awakened and India became an independent nation. Today, 75 years later, a new dawn awakens once again. It is an opportunity to prove ourselves worthy of our country and commit ourselves to its service. It is a time to honor the legacies of our heroes, to remember their sacrifices, and resolve to lead the country into an era of peace and progress. You and I are children of one religion, but the varied parts of religion are but the fingers of the loving hand of the Supreme Being, Khalil Gibran. I now welcome the members of the Language Department to invoke God's blessings on this joyous occasion.
स्वतंत्रता दिवस के अमृत महोत्सव के उपलक्ष्य पर राष्ट्र हेतु प्रार्थना। भारतीय इतिहास में स्वतंत्रता दिवस का स्वर्ण सुनहरे अक्षरों में दर्ज है। आज हम अपनी जन्मभूमि के लिए ईश्वर का आभार प्रकट करते हैं और अपने राष्ट्र के लिए ईश्वर से कामना भी करते हैं। हमारे देश के महान नेताओं ने भिन्न भिन्न जाति और पंथ के बावजूद मातृभूमि के लिए स्वयं को समर्पित किया है। इन्होंने आज़ादी, न्याय, समानता, भाईचारे, एकता, उन्नति और ज्ञान के लिए मिलकर कदम बढ़ाए। ये सच है कि हमारे तंत्र में भ्रष्ट और स्वार्थ भी है, लेकिन ऐसे भ्रष्टों को दरकिनार करते हुए हमें उन महान नेताओं से प्रेरणा लेनी है जिन्होंने इस राष्ट्र की अपने तन मन धन से निस्वार्थ सेवा की है।
Scripture reading from the various religions. Reading from the Holy Quran, chapter 49, verse 7 and 8. And know that among you is the messenger of Allah. If he were to obey you in such of the matter, you would be in difficulty. But Allah has endeared to you the faith and has made it pleasing in your hearts, and has made hateful to you disbelief and disobedience. Those are the rightly guided is as bounty from Allah and favor, and Allah is knowing and wise.
ಬೈಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಂಥದಿಂದ ವಾಚನ. 1 ಪೇತ್ರ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯ 2 ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳು 16 ಮತ್ತು 17. ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರರಂತೆ ಬಾಳಿರಿ, ಆದರೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟತನವನ್ನು ಮರೆಮಾಚಲು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯವನ್ನು ದುರುಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಡಿ. ದೇವರಿಗೆ ದಾಸರಾಗಿ ಬಾಳಿರಿ, ಸರ್ವರನ್ನು ಸನ್ಮಾನಿಸಿರಿ, ಸಹೋದರರನ್ನು ಸ್ನೇಹಿಸಿರಿ, ದೇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಯಭಕ್ತಿ ಇಡಿ, ದೇಶಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಗೌರವ ನೀಡಿ. ದೇವರ ವಾಕ್ಯವಿದು, ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆ ಸಲ್ಲಲಿ.
A reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, अध्याय 18, श्लोक संख्या 46. जिस अंतर्यामी ईश्वर से समस्त प्राणियों की प्रवृत्ति यानी उत्पत्ति या चेष्टा होती है, और जिस ईश्वर से यह सारा जगत व्याप्त है, उस ईश्वर का प्रत्येक वर्ण के लिए पहले बताए हुए अपने कर्मों द्वारा पूजकर उसकी आराधना करके मनुष्य केवल ज्ञान निष्ठा की योजना रूप सिद्धि प्राप्त कर लेता है.
जननी जन्मभूमिश्च स्वर्गादपि गरीयसी. जन्म देने वाली माता एवं जन्म देने वाला देश दोनों 100 स्वर्गों से बेहतर है. इस शुभ संदर्भ में हम अपने अतीत, वर्तमान और भविष्य को ध्यान में रखकर मंथन करेंगे कि क्या हम स्वतंत्र है, मुक्त है, आज़ाद है. मन से मान है, मन से मानव है. मन में निरंतर उठने वाले नकारात्मक विचारों से क्या हम स्वतंत्र है?
ನಮ್ಮ ತುತ್ತಿನ ಚೀಲ ತುಂಬಿಸುವ ಅನ್ನದಾತನ ಬೆವರಿನ ಹನಿಯ ಋಣದ ಅರಿವು ನಮಗಿದೆಯೇ?
देश की सुरक्षा ही अपना कर्तव्य एवं धर्म मानने वाले योद्धाओं के त्याग एवं बलिदान के ऋण से क्या हम मुक्त है?
ಮಮತೆಯ ಸಾಕಾರ ಮೂರ್ತಿಯಾದ ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವ ಅತ್ಯಾಚಾರ, ಶೋಷಣೆಗಳಿಂದ ಅವಳಿಗಾದ ಅವಮಾನ, ಸಂಕಟ, ಕಣ್ಣೀರಿನ ಹನಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಕೊಡಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗಿದೆಯೇ?
समाज के मूल आधार स्तंभ पीड़ित, शोषित एवं वंचित वर्ग के प्रति अन्याय से क्या हम आजाद हैं?
ಶ್ರಮಿಕರ ಗುಡಿಸಲುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಿನ ಭರವಸೆಯ ಬೆಳಕ ಹೊತ್ತಿಸಲು ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗಿದೆಯೇ? ಅನ್ನದಾತರ, ಯೋಧರ, ಶ್ರಮಿಕರ, ದುಃಖಿತರ, ಸಂಕಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾದವರ ಬದುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕತ್ತಲು ದೂರವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಕು ಮೂಡಿದಾಗಲೇ ಈ ಅಮೃತ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಸಿಗುವುದು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಆಗಲೆಂದು ಈ ಗೀತೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸೋಣ.
ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದು ನಡೆಸೆನ್ನ
blessings. Help us to show love for others as you have shown love for us. Bless us with love, joy, peace, happiness, and provide us with the protection of your angels to keep us safe. Let your blessings of happiness and prosperity with success dwell within our shelter on this day, on the occasion of Independence Day and in the days to come. Bless our college, management, staff, students, parents, nation, and all the people affected due to the pandemic. Please heal them and surround them with your love. Come guide our path as we look to serve you and others in our daily life. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, team, for that contemplative prayer. How far the world, William Shakespeare. I now request the dignitaries to light the lamp to solemnize this auspicious occasion. I invite our chief guest, Colonel Subhash Sinha, Commanding Officer of 3 Karnataka, followed by our Director, Reverend Father Roshan David Pereira, SJ, Principal Mr. C.R. Rajendra, Vice Principal Ms. Smita Chako, and Governor of the Student Council, Ms. Maria Tendral. Brought together to celebrate this magnificent moment. I now invite Ms. Maria Tendral, Governor of the Student Council, to welcome this august assemblage.
To one and all gathered here, into the heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. With these words of Rabindranath Tagore, I feel deeply honored and humbled in standing before all of you on this grand occasion of our 75th Independence Day, welcoming each one of you for this auspicious celebration. India, the land of diversity, festivals, gods, different religions, culture, communities, joins hands together on this very special day celebrating its country's Independence Day. It is special as we reminisce the sacrifices of our freedom fighters, soldiers, and all those who lost the pleasure of their lives to give us what we have today. India, from being an underdeveloped nation, has journeyed in reaching the pinnacle of modernization with commitment and contribution of many in the field of science and technology, economic growth in the global market, social reformations, to name a few. So let this day also be a commemoration of acknowledgement of such a commitment. Let us most importantly concede the services rendered by many 1,000 souls who selflessly united in handling the pandemic. May the spirit of patriotism, nationalism, and brotherhood continue to dwell in each of our hearts. To brighten up this occasion, we have a very special chief guest today amidst us, Colonel Subhash Sinha, Commanding Officer, 3 Karnataka Battalion. On behalf of all of us, I extend a grand welcome to you, sir. I now request our Director, Reverend Father Roshan Pereira, SJ, to felicitate our chief guest with a shawl and garland. And our principal to greet him with a sapling. My hearty welcome also goes to coordinator, will greet them with saplings. Staff members, and all you dear students, greetings once again for this auspicious occasion. Now, Mr. Ravindra from the Department of Chemistry will formally introduce our chief guest.
Good morning to respected Honorable Chief Guest, Colonel Subhash Sinha. Good morning to Reverend Father Roshan David Pereira SJ. Good morning to our Vice Principal and Principal, Cultural Coordinator and Governor, PI staffs, parents, students, and my dear staff, and of course, my NCC cadets. Maria ma'am has given me a hard task to introduce Colonel Sir, because when I requested him to give his profile, he gave one simple sheet. I thought it's so easy. But I came to know later it was an NCERT textbook. Every line had so much in it. Every line had so much of achievements. It's indeed a great pleasure and my privilege to introduce our chief guest of the day. What a celebration of 75th year of Independence Day we are having. And I wanted to reflect upon that. The Jesuits and armed forces have something in common. They mean their uniform and they mean their rule book. And they go by that. On the first note, I would like to recall this great quote that Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw had given. Give me a man or a woman with a common sense and an intellect. I assure you, you can make a leader out of him or her. Indian Army has recruited the best men and shaped them into finest officers. Colonel Subhash Sinha is one such officer who was commissioned in the year 1991. Since then, he has been in action in various departments of armed forces. In fact, when I read his profile, being in Army Squad, he has 3,000 years of flying experience as helicopter pilot in various combatant and non-combatant flights. As flight commander, he has trained pilots to fly in all kinds of terrains like Siachen glaciers. His team has involved in carrying search and rescue operations, reconnaissance of areas and all possible roles related to air movement. Sir has fulfilled his administrative responsibilities in various positions. He was an advisory member for technical management of aviation equipment for Indian Army helicopter fleet in the year 2012-2014. He was officer in charge for functioning of polyclinics of ex-service health scheme for almost like 75 ex-servicemen health management after their service retirement. The entire polyclinics have to take care of. But what relates more to us with Colonel Sir, it's this statement: a leader is always an educationalist because he's the one who imparts education in every walk of his life. Colonel Sir was appointed as officer in charge for primary and secondary education school, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Pulgaon. He worked as a nominee chairman, almost like 18 KVs, he was governing. He was versed with people management. He exercised his skill to manage schools and train teachers and students and directing them to work for national cause. I recall one of his press statement. I just googled and tried to search on the YouTube. I loved the statement of what Sir made in one of his press statement. शिक्षा का मतलब नौकरी नहीं है. नौकरी आपके लिए बेटर रहेगा अगर आपकी शिक्षा अच्छे हो तो. जब भी देश को जरूरत पड़े हम लोग आगे आए, वही शिक्षा है. Sir, it's a great pleasure that you are associated with this NCC, and we are hoping a great transformation in our NCC unit of SJPUC NCC unit. We look forward for a greater help, sir. But what was very much interesting about his profile was, despite his busy schedule, he has completed his 2 master's degree. Masters of Industrial Relationship and Personal Management, and very contrary and very acknowledging, also one more master's in Sociology, which he recently completed. He has done his helicopter pilot training from Helicopter Training School, and being a graduate of science, and being an honors in zoology. So that tells the multiple facets of our chief guest. Colonel Sir, I, on behalf of the entire fraternity of SJPUC, once again welcome to you for the 75th Independence Day celebration program in our college. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful introduction. I now invite our chief guest to give us his message.
Father Roshan David Pereira, Principal C.R. Ayendra, members on the dais, parents, staff of St. Joseph Pugh College, students, and my dear cadets. Special emphasis for the cadets because they bear me a lot. A very happy 75th Independence Day to you. It has come with great difficulty. I know you all have gone through the history, and I would like to salute and also want you to join me in saluting those who sacrificed their life, those who sacrificed their time, and those who sacrificed their family in achieving this independence. It was not easy. But have you given a thought what actually happened? Why did we get into the clutches of East India Company, which later on turned to be British India? We had everything in ourselves, but the problem with us was we were too diverse. Diversity is a good issue. Diversity is a good thing which we had, but this company which came with just few hundred of people, not even 1,000, few hundred, and they ruled this complete subcontinent because they realized we are fighting among ourselves. The best policy which they used was divide and rule. Make us fight and rule this subcontinent. And why did we get independence? It was just because we got united. So together we swim, individually we drown. This has to be kept in mind the day we try to do a task individually, which actually requires the team, we will sink. So many activities which took place from 1600 AD, that is when the East India Company landed up, till independence, that is 1947. The series of activities were going on. And ultimately we got independence, but at what cost? The day independence was announced, in 24 hours there was a massacre where we have lost up to 10 lakh lives. I mean, we can't imagine this kind of massacre. 10 lakh is today's Indian Army's strength. That is the kind of life we lost. Today I was hearing Prime Minister in the morning. He says now 14th of August will be celebrated to remember those people who have lost their life during partition. Why we were supposed to lose that kind of life? Again, the same thing. The Britishers achieved their aim by dividing us, creating two enemies that we are fighting till date. Pakistan is our biggest enemy. Who created that? Pakistan, which is born from India, claims to be bigger than India. Why? This has been created by Britishers. They wanted that we should keep fighting all over throughout the ages we live, so that there is no progress in the country. However, let's be thankful that we have now leaders which are taking this country in a direction of development, improvement. Today, we are the part of United Nations Security Council. When UN was formed with the aim that there should not be any third world war, I'm sure you are aware of this. United Nations organization was formed with the aim that there shouldn't be any third world war. That was formed after Second World War. That is the time they wanted to have permanent members, and India was given a chance. For some reasons, our Prime Minister at that time, Jawaharlal Nehru, refused to take this up, utilize this opportunity, I would say. So we remained out of this United Nations Security Council for good about 74 years. And after 74 years, for the first time, we have got a chance to be the member of Security Council. You are aware that there are 10 non-permanent and 5 permanent members. These 5 permanent members have got a veto power. And luckily this August, that 1 month time is given when we are the leaders. So, that the time we got this opportunity, we didn't utilize this opportunity. That is, immediately after independence, we were told, you become a permanent security member, but because of financial reasons, because to become a permanent security member, you have to pay for, or you have to do the fundings for various UN activities. India that time was not capable of doing so. So this was passed on to China. Now imagine, China is today's our another big enemy. I mean, now it has become bigger than Pakistan. So everything you try to get passed in Security Council, China is the one who will put its veto power and stop passing of that particular thing which is in favor of India. So this is how we are suffering. The thing which India was supposed to get was given to China. We should all feel lucky that we are born in free India. Today India has all what we want and all of international standards. But the problem with us is now there is a lot of variance between a poor and a rich. Poor is very poor and the rich are very rich. Asia's richest man is staying in India. So what is happening? The people are still struggling for food. People are still struggling for clothing. They are still dependent on government facilities. Sitting here for the new generation to come, it's our duty to decrease that gap. And how do we do that? Let's take a pledge today. Since we all are born in free India with all facilities, so this is the ideal day and time. On 75th Independence Day occasion, we should pledge. Firstly, we will remove this difference of rich and poor. There will always be a difference, but the gap should be removed. So that at least everybody sleeps with peace with stomach full, with cloth on, and the basic amenities to be available to each one of us. We will have to put in that effort. So we must pledge for that. We must pledge to respect our culture and ethics. They are basics. And it is being taught in every home. Isn't it? We are taught that we should always speak the truth. Isn't it taught that we should not take away others' right? So these are the basics which are taught at home. But over the period we are forgetting it. These are taught at schools at basic levels. But as we grow, we forget about it. We have become so mobile savvy, so laptop savvy, so techno savvy that we are forgetting the basics. So basics we should never forget. Then, if you want to develop in your life, is it necessary that you have to pull down your competitor? What is happening these days? If I want to grow, I will pull down my neighbor. I will ensure that he doesn't grow. This mentality we have to change. If I have to grow, do better than my neighbor or my colleague, then I should work hard. Then I should be more sincere. My output should be better than the contemporaries so that I grow. Problem with us is when we want to grow, we want that our neighbors or our friends should not grow. We pull them down. This habit has to be curtailed. That means you should be part of the fair competition. Apply your brain. Apply your abilities. I told about following the ethics. Following ethics is fine, but don't be monkeys. There was a very famous experiment, management experiment, which was carried out. I'll just narrate, I'll take a couple of minutes. In a room, there were 4 monkeys which were placed. There was a ladder, and on the top of ladder, there was a bunch of bananas which were kept. I'm sure a few of you must have read or heard about this. So in a room with 4 monkeys, and a ladder, there is on top of it a dozen of bananas kept. So every monkey is trying to get onto the ladder and wanting to fetch that banana. So experiment is, whenever a monkey is trying to climb up, so the water is sprayed on the monkeys. Monkeys are the animal which don't like water. So what these monkeys are realizing, every time they try to climb up the ladder, what is happening? Water is sprayed on them. Anyway, the first lot, they somehow reach up to the banana and they finish off the banana. Again the banana is placed. So they are realizing the moment they take first step, the water is sprayed on them. So these 4 of them, they say, okay, we will not climb up. They decide not to climb up the ladder. But however, bananas are there which are very attractive to the monkeys. So the moment first monkey is trying to climb up, the rest 3 slaps the first monkey. They know because the water will come on them. Water will be sprayed on them. So every time some monkey is trying to climb up, so it gets a good beating from other monkeys. So what is happening ultimately? Okay, nobody is eating the banana. After some time, one of the monkeys is pulled out and a new monkey is put inside the room. So what is happening now? New monkey is not aware of the rules and regulations of the room. The moment it sees banana on top of staircase, it climbs up. So rest 3, slap. So every time he tries to climb up, he gets a beating. So he realized, okay, this very thing, anytime somebody climbs up, beating has to be given. So out of 3 also, then somebody is thinking that, okay, nobody is seeing, so let me climb up. So moment one of the old one tries to climb up, he also beats. The new one is also beating now. So it's fine. So after a week with lot of beating and all, another old monkey is moved out and a new monkey is put in. So now new monkey again the same tactics, same thing, going after the banana and gets a good beating. Second one is also beating. So this happens when all the 4 monkeys are changed and there are all new monkeys, banana on top. There is no water. But what is happening? The moment any of the monkeys is trying to climb up, he gets a good beating. After complete overall of these 4 also. So there is no water, only banana is there, staircase is there or the ladder is there, but nobody is climbing up because anybody who climbs up gets a wonderful beating. Now the best part is, none of the monkey knows why they are beating each other. Imagine what is happening in the room. This is a total commotion. The moment somebody will climb, he gets a beating. But neither the 3 who is beating the monkey knows why they are beating the monkey, and the monkey which is being beaten also doesn't know why he is getting the beating. So what I want to bring out, please don't be monkeys. I mean, half of the time we do a work which we don't know why we are doing. Just because somebody did it, I also follow. I should follow the mass. Why should I follow the mass? At least you ask, is it logical? Is it reasonable to follow the mass? Or what is the cause? Why are we doing this? I mean, this question should keep ticking you. Let's not be monkeys. And it's very important. Okay. Next. Please inculcate self-discipline in yourself. Now, what is self-discipline? When you are here, your professors are watching you, teachers are watching you, you are very disciplined. Because you know, the moment you break the discipline, you are had. Right? When your parents are there, you are very disciplined. But the moment you are free, then you do all sorts of new things by breaking a lot of rules. So, all the teachings which are given to you by your professor, your teachers, your parents has got no meaning. What is important? The only way you can develop this nation is if you are self-disciplined. When nobody is watching you, that time, if you are maintaining that level of discipline, basic level of discipline in yourself, the nation will automatically develop. Please maintain that. Don't do things for others. Somebody has taught you something. If you are convinced, please follow it religiously. Whether you are being watched or whether you are being observed or not. That self-discipline has to be maintained. Now, youth, they are growing and they will be man and gentlemen and ladies in years to come. Please be man of words. What you say, you please do. Okay? Cadets, this is what we teach you. Once you have spoken something, follow that religiously. Don't break your words. Because if you have to establish in the society, you have to establish in your organization, please be man of words. Organize yourself. You are not going to get more than 24 hours in a day. Tell me anybody can make 25th hour in a day. No way. And you have so many activities to follow and carry out in a day. If you waste your time just because you are disorganized, suppose I have to go to the market and I have to buy 10 things. So I plan in a way that first shop I will buy hardware, second shop I will buy some grocery, third shop I will buy some stationery. If I plan it differently, firstly I'll mix up everything, or if I forget something, to 10 times I'll go to the market. Isn't it? This is small planning. So in life, for your development, you have to organize yourself. A beautiful another example I'll give you. There was a group of people who had come like for this gathering. Everybody was given a balloon. And they were asked to blow the balloons and write their names. Again, I am sure some of you must have heard of this. So, and the balloons were collected. And it was put in a room. So there was a competition. It was told anybody who gets his own balloon back within a couple of minutes will get a prize. So what happened? Everybody rushed to the room. There is one door, so everybody is trying to push each other. In the room there is total chaos. Everybody is trying to look for his balloon or her balloon. And in the bargain, half of the balloons were busted. They are fighting with each other. So what was happening? This is a wastage of time. So how you would have done this in a better way? So better way of doing was, somebody could have gone inside and just picked up one balloon, announced the name of whoever is whatever is written on the balloon, and one by one he could have given the balloons to all of them. Time saved, fight saved the balloons which they busted, and the team would have got a good prize. So this is what? Applying your mind and organizing yourself. Please organize yourself, because let me tell you, you'll never get a minute extra than 24 hours in a day. Don't waste your time. At the end, it was very sorry to learn about your old principal, Father Lobo, who expired yesterday. But then I thought I will remind you of something I was discussing with Father Roshan. Know yourself. It is important to know firstly yourself, then to know others. Know your body, how it is going to react, how much it can bear. You have to react accordingly. You should know your limits. I have been in aviation more than good about 18-20 years I have been flying. One thing I have learned, and I want to share with you, that if you don't know your capabilities and if you don't know the machine's capability, if there is any mismatch, you will definitely meet with an accident. So please know your capability. Don't crash. If I don't know English, and I know even if I work hard, I won't reach that level of mastery in English, and I am good in Kannada, why not I should explore things in Kannada? If I am an engineer, I shouldn't start doing that doctor's practice. So that is my capability. So firstly, know yourself where you can excel. Otherwise you will crash. Similarly, know your body. At what time you have to be at the doctor's place if something happens. I suffered from a heart attack in 2018. I thought I will just narrate this. So 2018 I suffered from a heart attack. Cause was very simple. That since I have served in Siachen, my blood got thickened. So I was very happy when I was in Siachen, when I used to get my HB level to 18 and 19, which is actually dangerous. So, but there in Siachen, if you have higher blood counts, it helps you in fetching a lot of oxygen to your body. But then this thickened blood led to this heart attack. But when I suffered from heart attack, that day morning I was exercising for good about 1.5 hours. I was in the gym. That day I had a conference. I went for the conference. In conference I started realizing my body is not behaving the way it is supposed to. So I took an excuse from the conference, went to my room. I pulled out mobile and I was just contemplating it may be a heart attack. So I read through the mobile. Internet is available to everyone now. And there I realized, okay, these are all the symptoms of heart attack. I had nobody to drive my vehicle. I picked up my vehicle, went to the hospital driving, and went to the doctor and said, "Doctor, I suffered from heart attack." So doctor says, "Are you kidding or what?" This was this thing. "How do you know you have suffered from heart attack?" I said, "I have suffered from heart attack. You please check." So he made me sit for some time. He said, "Okay, wait. We will check your BP and then we will take the ECG measure." So I was sent to ECG room. So immediately I was asked to stay there in the ECG room lying only. The moment the doctor saw that ECG and he came rushing, he said, "You will not move now." I said, "Why?" "Well, you have actually suffered from heart attack." So, I mean, the thing is, if I would have delayed, I would have said, "No, wait, this will get all right." So I would have reached that point of no return. Okay. Doctor says that within 4 hours, if you don't report to the hospital, so you may damage your heart. So this happens. I suffered from corona. My oxygen level went to 63%. Imagine what is 63%? I'm sure all of you are aware that people start crying at 90% itself. And nowadays everybody has got that oximeter where you check, oh, my oxygen level is 97, 98, 95. And when I was admitted in the hospital, that time I was realizing my neighbors and all crying at 88%. So I told them, wait, don't cry. If you want to live, you have to have that will to live. Then only you will survive, otherwise you will not survive. I was there in ICU for good about 6 to 8 days. The first 2 days I was not in my senses, I would admit. But third day when I woke up, 4 people died in ICU in front of me. I mean, that was the scenario. I am seeing people dying in front of me. What I want to bring out is you should know yourself. If you know yourself properly, you will damage yourself less. Your damaging is damage to the country. No, we don't want to lose any one of us. I mean, you must live your life. Let's take the average life of the country. 67 years, 68 years. At least you should live that much. Because then only you can contribute to the progress of the country. Let's all contribute to the progress of the country. Let's be one. And at the end, please love your country. And in the process of doing so, you should do whatever is the job assigned to you sincerely. That is the biggest duty you can do to the country. If you can do the job which you are assigned with great sincerity. A teacher should teach with sincerity. A student should study with sincerity. An army man should do his duty sincerely. I mean, whatever profession you are, if you do your duty sincerely, you are contributing to the progress of the nation. Let's do it together. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful insights. I'm sure our students will be greatly inspired by your speech. Rhythm and harmony find their way into the inward places of the soul, Plato. We now have the students of the music club who will enchant us with a medley of patriotic songs.
ही मेरी मंजिल है, पहचान तुझी से, मेरी मंजिल है, पहचान तुझी से। पहुंचूं मैं जहां भी मेरी बुनियाद रहे तू, पहुंचूं मैं जहां भी मेरी बुनियाद रहे तू। ऐ वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू। मैं जहाँ रहूं जहाँ में याद रहे तू, जहाँ रहूं जहाँ में याद रहे तू। ऐ वतन मेरे वतन, मेरे वतन। हम चलते हैं जब ऐसे दो दिल दुश्मन के हिलते हैं, कंधों से मिलते हैं, कंधे कदमों से कदम मिलते हैं। हम चलते हैं जब ऐसे दो दिल दुश्मन के हिलते हैं। अब तो हमें आगे बढ़ते हैं रहना, अब तो हमें साथी है बस इतना ही कहना। अब जो भी हो शोला बनके बनता है फिर रहना, और जो भी हो बादल बनके पर्वत में रह जाना। कंधों से मिलते हैं, कंधे कदमों से कदम मिलते हैं। हम चलते हैं जब ऐसे दो दिल दुश्मन के हिलते हैं, कंधों से मिलते हैं, कंधे कदमों से कदम मिलते हैं। हम चलते हैं जब ऐसे दो दिल दुश्मन के हिलते हैं। वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम।
A leader, they say, has the capacity to translate vision into reality. Our director, Reverend Father Roshan David Pereira SJ, is one such leader. I now request Father to share his thoughts with us.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, respected Colonel Subhashina, Principal Mr. C.R. Rajendra, Vice Principal Smita Chako, Student Governor Maria Chandral, PI members, the heads of the department, members of the faculty, and my dear students. Today, as all of us are aware, we are celebrating the 75th Independence Day of our country. On this special occasion, at the outset, I wish you a very happy Independence Day. We have to build the noble mansion of free India, where all our children may dwell. The appointed day has come, the day appointed by destiny, and India stands forth again after long slumber and struggle, awake, vital, free, and independent. This was a speech made by our first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, on the first Independent Day of our country. Today is the day to recall the history of our country and to honor and pay tribute to those great leaders who have shed their blood and sacrificed their lives for the nation's freedom and prosperity. It was not only at that time when our freedom fighters had sacrificed their lives for us, but even today there are youngsters who are heartily willing to join the army, defense forces, defense services in order to offer and sacrifice their lives for the motherland. All of us are aware we are in the pandemic situation. COVID has engulfed the entire world. But in spite this pandemic situation, we have seen several people who have come out and given a helping hand to help each other. If we see our country, there has been a progress, but at the same time, we have haves and have-nots. Besides India making a massive progress in various fields, we also find India facing a number of challenges ahead. Politicians are worried about their power and position rather than the people who are staying in slums and those who have no proper meal. Our Colonel Sinha has already mentioned to us about this in his speech. The resort culture has become as one of the rising aspects among the politicians. True freedom can be summed up, I think, where Rabindranath Tagore said, "Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, into that heaven of freedom let my country awake." When we look around, what do we see? The kind of things which are done in the name of God, in the name of religion, the brutality in which the people treating others. In the world where internet is so active, we get to see terrible video clippings of the people being treated just worse than the animals. The sad part is some of the biggest offenders are the ones who are educated. What are we going to do to change these attitudes? Are we going to be mere spectators? Because if we don't act today, it may be too late tomorrow. Can we do something about it? That's why it is said, the world is in such a bad place today, not because of the bad people who are around, but because of the good people who do nothing about it. So what are we doing? Are we failing in our task of helping the poor, breaking free from the shackles that have enslaved them, and helping the rich break free from their urging needs to enslave others? We are called to free both. Recently, in one of the conferences, the Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy said, "Looking at what is happening in different parts of the country today, the young need to state bluntly that this was not the country for which our forefathers got freedom. The meaning of actual freedom is freedom of our minds and hearts. We, the youngsters of our country, can be a real instrument of hope, peace, and love beginning from our homes. It is to work for our country and walk an extra mile to bring smiles into the lives of others and thus making our country proud. Only then there lies the real meaning that we celebrate our independence today." I would like to thank Colonel Subhash Sinha. He has beautifully brought out the aspect of the poor and the rich in the country and what is our responsibility being the citizens of the country. I thank him for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of this celebration. Like you, sir, the youth here may be inspired and serve our nation and make the dreams of the father of our nation come true. Let this day of independence be a day to broaden our horizons of thinking out of the box, getting out of our narrow-mindedness and start thinking about not only ourselves but others. And let us strive to extend our hands to the people in need. All of us, to whatever religion we may belong, are equally the children of India with equal rights, privileges, and obligations. Let us dream big and make our nation proud. God bless us all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Father, for your words of wisdom. Leadership is not a position or a title. its action and example. We have amidst us a leader who believes in this principle. I now call upon Mr. C.R. Rajendra, our principal, to address the audience.
Please don't mind, I'll wear on my mask and I suppose I'm audible. Give me a thumbs up if I'm audible. Yeah, thank you. On this auspicious day, happy Independence Day to each one of you present here in SJPUC campus. Our respected Chief Guest, Colonel Subhash Sinha, Director, Reverend Father Roshan David Pereira SJ, Vice Principal, Mrs. Smita Chauko, Governor of the Students' Council, Mrs. Maria Tendril, dear members of staff, parents, dear students, and particularly NCC cadets, the members from the NCC battalion, the PI staff members, a hearty welcome to each one of you for this celebration. Your presence in our campus has made us feel proud and given us a lot of energy. The focus of the message would be primarily youth. The task is very clear. It is to realize a stronger India. India is quite strong now, as Colonel Subhash Sinha mentioned, quite strong compared to what we were a few years back. But again, we have a task on hand. It is to realize a stronger India, a more competent country, and a futuristic India, and finally a developed India. The role play as teachers and students. As teachers, we have a natural responsibility to ensure the holistic development of our students in particular and the youth in general. Fortunately, in the threefold goal of our institution, academic excellence, character formation, and social concern, we are able to address each of those aspects in a student's life. Be it his physical development, psychological well-being, whether it is intellectual faculty, or just encouraging him to be socially active. When I say socially active, I definitely don't mean your activity with the electronic gadget. I mean your contribution to the society. Society has given you a lot, and it becomes your responsibility, all of us, our responsibility to give it back to the society. So that way, a socially contributing citizen, socially contributing youth. These threefold goal of our institution fortunately gives us a framework under which we function and guide our young ones. As teachers, we have greater responsibility in attending to these boys. Only then probably the dream of a stronger, of a futuristic, a developed country is possible, not otherwise. As we are aware, this is the age, young adolescents, and they are just getting into young adulthood, and that's the age when they can be easily misled. If they are exposed to wrong information, if they are exposed to confusions, it's easily possible to be misled. There, we play a vital role as teachers. It is our duty to shield our boys, to guard them from any of these confusions, any of these wrong information, and to guide them on the right track. Once we do that, definitely parents are there as collaborators. We'll, as teachers and parents, will be able to ensure that, yes, today's youth will definitely be tomorrow's effective citizens, useful citizens for the country. The entire country depends on what the youth can contribute. India, around 10 years back, we had about 35% or so where we had the youth population. Now, of course, it has come down a bit, but still we have the capacity to ensure that they contribute and contribute more effectively to the society. It may be probably in bits and pieces, that has to stop, and it has to be a wholesome contribution from the youth. There we play an enormous role in shaping up these boys to respond to nation building. Gone are those days when we would keep on telling today's children will be tomorrow's citizens. Boys are responsible enough, they need to take up that responsibility of nation building in whatever phase they are in. Right from those phases, if they can contribute to the best extent, or rather better than the best extent they can, then yes, we are assured of a developed India. Dear students, a request from a teacher. As your teacher, as your principal, each one of you will be requested to follow the guidelines of your teachers as well as parents. It is by experience they may advise you certain thing, they may ask you to follow a certain path. You need to. Of course, you have the freedom to think, freedom to ask questions, freedom to analyze, and then take a suitable action. At any point of time, if you are disobedient to these basic instructions, then progress cannot be achieved. So you need to be obedient, you need to follow their instructions with all those freedom that you are given. The Constitution ensures that you have a certain freedom, and with all that in its place, you need to be obedient with your teachers and parents and their advices. It's possible then a smooth track on which you can glide and probably someday take off and ensure you are in a great country, and everybody around us should also be ensured, yes, India is definitely a great one. It was, and it will continue to be a great country which will contribute to the development of not just ourselves, but to the entire world. All of you may have heard about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We contribute not only to ourselves, to the entire world. Global citizens. Your challenges are plenty at this point of time. Plenty of challenges are there given the present context. It could be political, social context, economical. With all these challenges, you can still do it. You know, when the going gets tough, only the tough get going. And all our other trainings, and one such being NCC or NSS, and the contribution that each student can do through these voluntary service, the nation needs it and needs much more. If you are already on the path, thank you. Thank you on behalf of SJPUC. Scoring good marks and clearing most of these competitive examinations is only one aspect of a student life. That's not everything. You need to think and work beyond that particular point of scoring a rank and achieving something only academically. Right? As we have been taught every day in our classes, you need to be a student who can be with the best character. That is always your strength. Your character should be your identity. A Josephite steps out of the institution, he is identified as a Josephite because of his character. That has to be your identity. If these two fall in place, then you are ready and you would have already contributed to the society. You need to be social reformers at the end of the day. All this education, all these instructions, all these motivation, inspiration, all that would be ultimately to demand from you your contribution which is due to the society. And when you do so, it should be for a just society. And that is what you are all trained for
at SJPUC. It's an honor and privilege to address all of you representing the SJPUC family, and on this auspicious day of the 75th Independence Day celebration, it's a great honor. May the entire country be one. As Colonel said, it is in unity that we can win anything. If we forget that, then we are open to attacks and we will not survive. It's a long run, then we need to be united. May the country be united for long centuries to come, and let us all be proud citizens of Mother India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for sharing those inspiring ideas for the betterment of our students and thereby the upliftment of our country. We now come to the most awaited part of today's program, prize distribution for the Patriotic Week events. I invite Ms. Rosalind Ruby from the Department of Biology to take over.
Thank you, Ms. Jenny. I now request our Chief Guest of the day, Colonel Subhash Sinha, to felicitate the winner. Sir, kindly come forward. This is a video making. The winners, Mohammed Sufyan from 2D, he receives the first prize. The theme is India Past, Present and Future. The second prize goes to a group of boys from 2K, Sahil, Rahul, Sujan and Jitendra. Third prize also goes to a group of 2A, Naveen, Ramachandra, Likit. Thank you, sir, doing the honors. Now I call upon our director, Reverend Roshan Perera SJ, to give away the prizes to the prize winners. Patriotic singing. The first prize goes to 2Q, Ajay K. The theme is Any Indian Regional Singing. Second place goes to Mohammed Sufyan, again from 2D. He receives the second place. Third place goes to Yashas from 2O. Thank you, Father. Now I request our principal, Mr. C.R. Rajendra, to give away the prizes for the role play winners. The first prize goes to Lionel from 2Q. Theme is Freedom Fighters, Social Reformers, Any Contribution of Modern India. Second place goes to 2Q again, Jason. Third place will be received by Manoj of 2Q again. Consolation prize received by Monas of 2F. Thank you, sir. Now I request Ms. Smita Chaku, Vice Principal of our institution, to give away the prizes. Elocution winners. Augustine receives the first prize from 2J. The theme, If I Am a Prime Minister, India for a Day. Second place goes to Mohammed Siddiq from 2N. Third place goes to Amlesh from 2G. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Ms. Maria Thandal, Governor of the Student Council, to give away the prizes. E-poster making, the first prize goes to Ramachandra from 2A. He receives the second prize. The second place, Adok Shaja from 2J. Kevin receives the third place from 2Q. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Roslyn. Thank you, dignitaries. It is said that gratitude contributes positively to every area of our lives. As we come to the end of today's program, I feel honored to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the SJPUC family. Let me start by giving glory to God for His guidance and success of this event. I would like to express my gratitude to our chief guest, Colonel Subhash Sinha, who has graced this occasion in spite of his busy schedule and has shared his inspiring insights with us. I request our Vice Principal, Ms. Smita Chaku, to present Sir with a token of our appreciation. I also thank the PI staff accompanying our chief guest and the NSS unit of St. Joseph's Evening College for their presence. We are grateful to our rector, Reverend Father Brian Pereira SJ, for his constant guidance and support. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to our director, Reverend Father Roshan Pereira SJ, for his able administration, Principal Mr. C.R. Rajendra for his dedicated leadership, Ms. Smita Chaku, the Vice Principal, for her committed support, the Governor of the Student Council, Ms. Maria Thandal, and Ms. Savita, the Cultural Coordinator, for the meticulous planning of today's event. My heartfelt thanks to the Cultural Committee for their valuable contribution. Our technical team has worked hard to ensure that this occasion becomes a grand success. My sincere thanks to the team and all my colleagues for their encouragement. Thank you, dear parents, for your support. And last but not the least, I thank all the students and our online audience for your participation. Once again, I wish you a very happy Independence Day. Thank you one and all.
Hello all, and first of all, Happy Independence Day to you all. My name is Alan, and I'm from 2B. And yes, I'm Malu Mayali, and I'm very proud wearing this. So this is basically called as Kasava Mundu, and in all, like Onam is there this month. So basically, in all auspicious occasions, we wear this, and this is considered to be widespread and cultural ethnicity. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Good morning, ma'am, and good morning all. First of all, very happy Independence Day to you all. I am Abhay M, class representative of 2J. This is the traditional Karnataka's attire. This is the silk dhoti, or also called as the panche, or this is the silk shirt. This represents my culture, and I'm very proud wearing it. I'm a real Kannadiga, and I'm proud to say I'm a Kannadiga rather than a non-Kannadiga. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhay.
First of all, good morning everyone. My name is Mohammed Sufyan KM. I am from class 2D, and this signifies our culture, which is a Muslim culture. We wear this on occasions as well as normally, and normally this I actually wore this because it's like Jawaharlal Nehru wears it, so I actually wanted to signify him. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. Happy Independence to every teachers and my dear students. And I am Romesh from 2F, and this is Indo-Western wear, and we usually wear this for weddings and Diwali time, and this is basically from North Indian style. So we signify North Indians, and we usually wear for this Durga festivals and Diwali festivals. And thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Ayush from 2L, and very happy Independence Day to one and all present here. Talking about the significance of my dress, it is basically a kurta from the Gujarati tradition. It is called the Tirinchi kurta, which has become mainstream in the past 3-4 years, and now it is. I wanted to make it a little formal, so I wore a black pant under that, and that kind of gives a formal look to what I'm wearing today. Thank you.
Good morning everybody. I'm Anish Shinde, the class rep of 2M. This attire signifies, this comes from the North Indian tradition. This is the kurta, which is the upper part, and this comes from the North Indian tradition, and the lower part is called the dhoti, which is traditionally from the Maharashtrian style. This is actually worn using a long piece of cloth, but due to the ease and simple and to wear it easily, this is a modified dhoti. Yeah, so we get everything modified these days. So yeah, this is the kurta and dhoti. Thank you very much, and happy Independence Day.
Good morning to one and all. My name is Lambodara, and I'm from class 2C. and I'm from class 2C. This is a basic kurta, and it's a North Indian style. This is mostly worn during Holi's and the most common festival. This significance is about like everyone is equal and everyone wears the same dhoti and everyone is common, rich or poor, and it tells them that it's like the same. How do you explain? Ma'am, it's like the same attire all the way and common, and it's just used in the North Indian. Thank you.
Good morning everybody, happy Independence to you all. My name is Rohan and I'm from 2C. I'm the class representative of 2C. And this is actually a North Indian attire, which is a Rajasthani, which people usually wear for marriages and engagements and stuff. So, yeah, this is the Rajasthani attire. Thank you.
Good morning one and all. Myself Yuktesh from class 2O representative. First I would wish everyone a very happy Independence Day. So my attire is an Rajasthani attire. It's a basic kurta made of silk plus cotton, and this is the veil which is used to give more smart look to the kurta, and this greets everyone very warmly. This is the significance of my kurta. Thank you, Anu.
Good morning everyone. My name is Manoj from class 2O. This is basic kurta which we wear in Indian occasion. Thank you.
Good morning to all. My name is Ajay Krishna and I'm from class 2D. So what today I'm wearing is basically a kurta. It's also called as a jubba in Kannada. And we usually wear it white in white to indicate its peace and also the simplicity we wear. we usually wear it in many occasions like marriages, and especially during Diwalis and holy festivals. And I also wear a black coat to just give a bit of contrasting touch to it, and with shoes, and that's it. Thank you all.
Good morning to one and all present here. Happy Independence Day. I represent Kurta Pajama, and my name is Adokshaja 2J. I represent Kurta and Pajama, and I represent national flag colors. Thank you.
A very good morning, everyone. A very happy Independence Day. So, as you can see, this is an epitome of the Indian political system, I would say. This is a ubiquitous representation of the entire country. And I have specifically worn the Indian flag to showcase my patriotism and commitment towards shaping a stupendous country. Thank you. So, I'm Shashank and I'm from 2A.
Good morning, one and all present here. Happy Independence Day to each and everyone. I am Kapil from class 2A. I've worn a simple kurta, a pajama, and a sherwani to finish it up. It's primarily from North India, and it's normally worn for any Indian occasion. And the sherwani adds a bit more look to it, which is normally worn in marriages. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good morning to everyone present here, and a happy Independence Day. I am Rishikesh Sharma from 2N, and today I am wearing a panche and a shirt. I am a North Indian, but I wanted to represent South India by wearing this. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, I'm Abhinav from class 2E. So basically I wore an attire of North Indian and South Indian fusion, the kurta being the North Indian and the mundu being the South Indian. I'm basically from Kerala. I was supposed to wear golden, but my mom was pretty sure I was going to mess it up, so she made me wear black. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is P. Troy Saldana, and I'm partly from Mumbai and from Bangalore, so hence the shirt and the lungi, but I've modernized it a bit with a pair of sneakers, because college, right? Yeah, thank you. Two heads, sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning everyone, I'm Gokul from class 2N, and I am the class representative of class 2N. And firstly I would like to wish you all happy Independence Day, and I'm kind of nervous, but yeah, I'll make up to it. Basically I'm wearing a South Indian tradition. Basically this is worn in Tamil Nadu. Basically everyone says this is Maple getup, but it's okay. We actually wear it for all kind of function. This is a vesti and a satte, means t-shirt, okay. So we wear it for marriages or any other function, get together. Okay, any Tamil Nadu function you go, you'll see this get up in everyone's, wear. It means unity, basically, and it's part of a culture. That's it. Thank you guys.
Good morning everyone, I am Vasishtha Ganapati. I am from 2O. And I am the office bearer of the Social Science Association in the college. I have wore this outfit keeping two things in mind. One is the Khadi jacket, where our Honorable PM Narendra Modi's campaign to promote cotton in the country. So this jacket is hand woven from the Khadi Bandar in order to promote the Khadi campaign, and I urge you all also to promote this by buying such accessories and clothes from the Khadi Bandar. And another is the kurta. And now I may get a doubt on why I am wearing formal pants. This is because I represent two things. One is our Indian politicians and the Indian culture. The second is the Indian delegation in the foreign countries and the IAS and the UPSC officers. So this is my combination of my outfit. Thank you all.
morning, one and all. My name is Mohammed Saim and I'm from class 2I. And the outfit I'm wearing today is a simple Indian kurta and a Nehru jacket. And as the name suggests, the outfit is inspired by our first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is Adarsh Thajade. I am from class 2I and my dress signifies this Punjabi theme, like Punjabi's comfortable dhoti and Punjabi stylish kurta. Thank you.
Good morning each and every present here. Firstly, I would wish all of you happy Independence Day. And my name is Pranjal Gupta and I am from class 2O. And my attire represents North Indian, which is worn in all the weddings and engagements. I basically wore kurta and pajama over its jacket, which is also popularly known as Modi jacket. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, I am Kevin, class representative of 2Q. This costume represents Tamil Nadu and I am proud to wear it. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, myself Lionel Ajay of class 2Q, and this is kind of culture wear of Kerala and I am proud to wear it.
Hello everyone, my name is Yashish. I would like to wish all of you a very happy Independence Day. I have worn a bandi. This is called a bandi coat. I have styled with sleek shoes with pant and a shirt. This is popularly worn by all the youth in India. So I would like to call it a traditional ethnic wear of youth. Ma'am, I'm from class 2O. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning everyone present here. I am Kavya and I am from class 2L and very warm happy Independence Day to all of you present here. And I wore a kurta along with black jeans to give a formal look, and this kurta is basically from Gujarati tradition and is worn all over India in many occasions. And there is a huge fashion wave even in the kurtas, so which actually represents that even the Indian culture and tradition is not behind in competence with the Western world. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Kukki Srigoda from class 2A, President of Dramatics and Press Club. So I'll talk about my outfit. This is kurta, Indian kurta. Also my color, why I have chosen this color of kurta. So most of us really don't know whether kurta is from Indian origin or not, but actually it is not from Indian origin. It was found in Central Asia and got popularized after Muhammad Ghazni's attacks. He has attacked India about some 17 times. And after that, kurta was well known in most of the North Indian states. Now even South Indians wear it for marriages and other ceremonies. And whereas the color, I have worn navy blue. Usually blue is the superior color compared to other colors. The reason is blue is very well known for mental cure, mental healthness cure. Because all over the world, most of the men prefer blue. There is no man in the world without a blue color outfit. Most of the people prefer blue because it is known for loyalty, security, and mental stress relief, anxiousness relief, and what else? Serenity and tranquility. And people will be wondering why I am wearing a jeans pant on my ethnic wear. Let me be clear, a man wearing a jeans pant is just like a groom wearing a turban in his marriage. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Jacob from 2L. I am wearing a blue kurta and jeans pant because
it's way too common now because they tell that wearing a kurta and jeans is cool nowadays. So, yeah, thank you.
Good morning, one and all. Good morning, one and all. I'm Sujal Jain from class 2K. So this is a Rajasthani attire. I missed my turban, and yeah.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Sahil Shah from 2K. I'm wearing a short kurta which is made up of khadi. Thank you.
Ma'am, could you please introduce yourself?
A very good morning to everybody present here, and I would like to thank you SJPUC as a whole for inviting us here. And coming to I'm mother of Anish 2M, and coming to the attire, I did not know that this is going to happen, but just casually I wore. And this is the Indian traditional anarkali gown, a long length with a chiffon dupatta with it. This is, I bet every Indian female would love to wear this attire after the sari, because this is most loved now in fashion. And this represents fashion as well as the tradition. And Mehendi is added, adding a great traditional look to this attire. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for representing the parents. A round of applause for ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning to one and all. My name is Augustine Neil from class 2J. This is a traditional wear in Mundu. It is worn in Kerala, and it is worn in formal events and at home. And yeah, thank you.
Good morning, one and all present here. Good morning, one and all present here. My name is Nihal, and I'm of class 2J. So this is basically a kurta pajama which is worn in weddings and occasions, and this is also called as jubba pajama in Muslim slang.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Aiden Praveen from 2M, the president of the photography club. We all have heard the people saying that unity is the diversity. So I'd like to put that in action. So this turban represents the Sikh, the white kurta represents the Muslim brothers, and the dhotis represent the Hindu boys. And just a minute. Just a second. At the end of the day, we are all the single family Indians, and this represents every single soul of Indians. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Has everyone? Yes, ma'am. Dear students, thank you for that enthusiastic participation. We'd like to shortlist 4 of you. I request these students to come up in front. Anish of 2N, Rohit of 2C, Shashank of 2A, Vashish of 2O, and Adrian of 2N.
We have the first prize given to Anish of 2N. The second prize goes to Vashishta of 2O. Goes to Rohit 2C. We also have a consolation prize which was given to Adrian of 2N.